Hello and welcome to another episode of What's Inside. And welcome to a special Halloween episode. If you're seeing this one, it should be posted on Halloween. And this is a copy of The Hills Rise Wild. Now this was kind of a hard to find game. I've actually gone through a couple copies of it. People like to borrow this one and not give it back. This was put out by Pagan Publishing, which I believe is defunct now. I'm not sure. They might still be around, but they got out of the board game business, to my knowledge, at the minimum. I think they went under, though. Now, this was a Lovecraft-themed board game. And it was actually an interesting one because it was super hard to find, and you heard about it a lot, but you never really saw it. It's a last stand game, which uses like tokens and whatnot. It takes about an hour to play, 2 to 4 players. The product code is PAG2500. And the contents, according to the box, are 18 game board tiles, 24 cardstock characters, 24 gruesome corpses, 32 playing cards, 96 folding status hats, 1 20-sided die, a pocket tape measure, 1 rule book, faction sheets, charts, and the awesome brutal damage table. Now, as you can see, it's fairly colorful, detailed. This copy should be complete. I believe it is. I haven't used any of it, anything in a super long time, but I think this was my good copy. Yeah, this one's still sealed. So this was my good copy. Alright, there's our 20-sided die. Nothing to write home about. It's a standard white D20. That's it. They give you this cheapo measuring tape. It's a 3-foot measuring tape from Allied. Riveting. Then we got this little stack of cards. You got this big thing of tiles, all nicely put together. Then here's our rule book, and here's our character cards, if I can get them out. Alright, now with this, these were cutouts that you had to cut down here and around, and they would fold in the middle. And you would basically just fold these ends, white ends together and tape them or glue them. Nothing too spectacular or fancy. But everybody's labeled. There's Lavinia, the Hound, George, Cletus, Clem, Wilbur Watley. He's got all the tentacles. There's Spew, Slippery Finn, Sea Hag, Sargoso Jr., Captain Marsh. Then you've got these creatures: Spitgut, Judgment, Grave, Fury, Fortune, Angel DeGhoul, Brother Zix, Brother Zill, Brother RSORR, I don't know what that is, Brother Jube, The Chosen, and Father Drake. So it's called Monstrous Hillbillies, cut on solid lines, fold on dotted lines. And then on the other side, you've got some more. There's some more characters here, and there's all this stuff. So, these are corpses, no folding, cut on solid lines. And then these are hats, which are basically just little things like unknown, slam, stun, and that's pretty much it. But the corpses are labeled Fury, Fortune, Angel. They're all the named characters. It's just them dead. And then this folds out, and there's nothing on the inside. So, pretty straightforward. The art's not the best. It's not bad. It's got a kind of a goofy feel to it, but the game's not meant to be taken seriously, I assure you. So this is basically a kind of a war game. Haven't played it in ages. I don't know what, I think my first copy got stolen. My second copy got borrowed, and I don't know what happened to that guy. And I had 3 or 4 more copies total. And this one just never got opened. I think I just gave up on trying to get people to play it with me. But this is from 2000, and it was designed, I think, by Jesper Mirfors and John Tynes. It says this page may be copied for personal use because it's got the damage tables on it and like a little index and stuff, so you can make use of everything. But the rule book is about 20 pages long. It's got designer's notes and crap like that in the last couple pages, so it's really not even that long. But it is a fairly, that's a slightly complicated game. Just because it plays like an old-time war game. So, if you haven't played one of those type of games, it might be a little confusing at first. Because it does kind of revolve around more of the war game, not necessarily rules, but that feeling. So, yeah, this is just one of those games that if you've never played a game like it, you might have a little bit of difficulty trying to sort out what they're getting at. If you're an old school first or second edition D&D player, you'll probably get kind of a sense of it. Or if you've played any of the old Avalon Hill games, it'll play similar to those. Alright, let me zoom in and we'll open these up and make everybody else's copy more valuable in the process. Alright, so let's open up this and see what we've got here. I'm going to try and do this delicately because I don't want to screw anything up. You'll note the bag is significantly bigger than the tiles. Why? I don't know. Corner cutting probably. We've got the Marsh Clan home tile. These are all one-sided, by the way. At least they're supposed to be. Then we've got the Cult of Ezekiel home tile. Then we've got Lonesome Road. Old Oak Road. Black Goat Field. Storm Hollow. The Strange Old Shack. Bad stuff happens there. Marsh End. Judgment Field. Witch Grave. The Old Bishop Place. Devil Hill. Jacob's Rest. The Crossroads. The Watley Clan home tile. Mason Lane. The Ghoul Clan home tile. And lastly, the Mansion. Now these are actually reasonably thick cards. They're not like the modern ones. They're a little thinner. But these are in new shape, basically. Because these were never used. So they look a lot better than they do when they're used. They get a little banged up just from casual play because it is just thicker cardstock. It's not anything special. It's not treated with anything. It's just sort of here. Now this was an early tile game in a lot of respects because it is from 2000. So the quality has improved vastly in that time. And this is early computer technology, so it has kind of a dated look to it. But that doesn't detract from the play of the game. And if you're a Lovecraft fan, you'll probably want to get this just to have it for your collection. Because it is a neat kind of gimmick game. And it's nice to have some of those. But the tiles are pretty nice. The rule book was good quality too. It's just hard to give it a reasonable review because the technology has improved so much for board games. I mean, when this game came out, the internet was still fairly new in a lot of ways. So word of the game didn't even really spread that much. Yep, put all that away wrong. Alright, then you got your little card deck. It's got question mark on it. And it's got, oh, I can see a damage table. So it's still wrapped in cellophane, so let's destroy that. And get into these. This game can go upward of $100 if it's still sealed like this. It's not worth that now because I just opened it. But this one's in really nice shape, so it's probably going to cost you a lot of money to find a copy of this. I'd say probably at least $30 to $50, depending on where you get it. So be aware of that if you're trying to complete some kind of Lovecraft set, or if you're a Pagan Publishing fan. They did some really cool stuff for Call of Cthulhu RPG, and I'm a big fan of their work. It's sad because I don't think they're around anymore, but around this time they produced a lot of stuff, and most of it was pretty good. So at least I liked it, and my game group liked it a lot. But yeah, this one was kind of hard to track down. Like I said, I've gone through a couple copies, most of which just got nicked, even when they were beat up. So this one cost me quite a bit when I bought it, and I never even played it, so that should tell you a lot. Alright, here we've got a shack event. Tarnation, it's a booby trap. This one says, mandatory, maybe Crazy Willie's shotgun trap finally got one. If your character entered or exited this location through a doorway, then lose 3 life points, discard this card, and your character's movement ends for the round. Entering or exiting through any means other than a doorway does not activate this card's effects. Then we've got the rats in the walls. Mandatory. The place is alive with rats. Your character flees to just outside the way he entered, even if you have no movement left. In addition, roll d10 or move the or above. In addition, roll a 10 or above on d20 or lose 2 life points. Either way, your character's movement ends for the round. The card remains and affects anyone who enters. Through the forbidden door, elective. You have found an old dimensional gate. Your character may instantly travel to any location whose mystery card has not been revealed. Then his movement ends for the round and he may not attack this round. Card remains until used. Tentacle from the earth. Mandatory. Roll a die, then your character movement ends for the round. Card remains and affects anyone who enters with a new roll for each use. On 1 through 7, you appear at your summoning circle. 8 through 14, you appear at a random opponent's summoning circle. 15 through 20, you are killed. Moonwine Still. Elective. Any character who spends a turn in this location without movement or attacking heals 2 life points at the end of that turn. Life points may not exceed normal maximum. Card remains. The horror of the horror. Mandatory. Old man Pritchard always said there wasn't something quite right about the shadows in the moonlight. Sure enough, you have seen something that was not meant to be seen. Lose your special ability, if any, and discard this card. That crazy old woman. Mandatory. Roll die. Then your character's movement ends for this turn. Card remains and affects anyone who enters with a new roll for each use. 1 through 6 heals 1 lost life point. 7 through 13 slammed for 2 turns. 14 through 18 you may peek at 1 face down mystery card. 19 stabs you for 2 damage. 20 fully heals you. Fred's Ammo Shack. Elective. Any character who spends a turn in this location without movement or attacking may trade 1 life point for 3 rounds of firearm ammo. This does not reload spells, magic items, or psychic powers, and cannot increase the firearm's ammo above normal maximum. Excess earned ammo is ignored. Card remains. Next up, the Murder House. Non-de-ghouls. Mandatory. Your character loses 2 life points on his movement, and his movement ends for this turn. Card remains. De-ghoul. Elective. Your character may instantly travel to any location up to 2 tiles away, straight only, no diagonals or turns, whose mystery card has been revealed. Then he may not move or attack for the rest of this turn. Card remains. The Captain's House. Non-march. Mandatory. Your character loses 2 life points and his movement card for the rest of blah. Your character loses 2 life points and his movement ends for this turn. Card remains. Marsh, elective. Your character may instantly travel to any location up to 2 tiles away. A straight line only, no diagonals or turns, whose mystery card has been revealed. Then he may not move or attack for the rest of this turn. Card remains. The Hidden Temple, non-Ezekiel, mandatory. Your character loses 2 life points, and his movement ends for this turn. Card remains. Ezekiel, elective. Your character may instantly travel to any location up to 2 tiles away, straight only, no diagonals or turns, whose mystery card has been revealed. Then he may not move or attack for the rest of this turn. Card remains. The Old Homestead, non-Watley. Mandatory. Your character loses 2 life points and his movement ends for this turn. Card remains. Watley, elective. Your character may instantly travel to any location up to 2 miles away, straight only, no diagonals or turns, whose mystery card has been revealed. Then he may not move or attack for the rest of his turn. Card remains. Mansion event. I'm Jess, all shook up. Mandatory. Your character's lost. Roll 10 or above on d20 or he is stunned until the start of your next turn. If you fail the roll, continue rolling at the start of your turns until you succeed in the roll and he is free to move, then discard this card. Teeth in the Dark. Mandatory. Clack clack. Something bites you in the shadows. Break out the denture cream. Roll on the damage table for your character and discard this card. Hey Ma, a secret passage. Elective, roll a die, then your character's movement ends for this turn. Card remains until used. 1 through 5, you appear at your summoning circle. 6 through 10, you appear at a random opponent's summoning circle. 11 through 12, the tunnel is blocked. He done crawled off to die. Mandatory. If one of your faction has been killed and the dead figure is still on the board, you find him in this location with 1 life point and all other stats as they were at the time of death. If more than 1 are dead, you may choose who returns. Whether or not someone comes back, discard this card. The Unholy Altar, elective. Roll a die to pray, then your character movement ends for this turn. Card remains with a new roll for each use. 1 through 5, regain all lost life points. 6 through 10, regain 1 lost life point. 11 through 15, lose 1 life point. 16 through 20, roll on the damage table for your character. Praise Yogg and pass the ammo. You found Colonel Cooter's box of leftover Great War ammunition. When used, this item will restore 1 firearm's ammo to full. It may only affect the firearm of the character carrying this item and will not affect card-based firearms, jammed firearms, or non-firearm ranged attacks such as spells, magic items, or psychic powers. Discard after use. The Secret Watley Seal, non-Watley. When you are in melee range of either door to Watley Mansion, roll a 15 or higher on d20. If you succeed, drop this item and all the doors to the mansion are permanently unlocked. Discard after successful use. If you fail, you may try again next turn. Watley, same as above, but you need only a 10 or higher on a d20. Amulet from the Grave, non-Degul. Immediately after an opponent injures you, absorb 1 life point of damage from that single attack before another roll is made. Then discard this card. Does not negate stun, slam, or unk results. Degul, same as above, but you may absorb up to 5 life points of damage from a single attack. The Medical Bag, time for some self-surgery. Roll d20 for each life point the character with this item is missing. On 11 through 20, the point is restored. Discard after use. The Dagger of the Deep, ranged attacks. 1. Ranged modifier, +0/+2. Range, 6. Range damage, +2. Non-marsh, no ammo needed. When thrown, this dagger returns to the user's hand at the start of your next turn. Marsh, same as above, but with a +2 range modifier. The Red Mask, non-Ezekiel. You may ignore stun or slam results against you for 1 life point per result. You must activate this item immediately after the result is inflicted and before another roll is made. Ezekiel, same as above, but you may use this ability without paying life points. TNT. Ranged attacks, 1. Range modifier, plus 6. Range, roll d20. Damage range, plus 4. Range damage, plus 4. I'm getting tired. Roll, range, and throw. During your combat phase, choose explosive point within range. Choose explosion point within range, ignoring obstacles but not landing on an obstacle. Make attack rolls on all targets within a 4-inch line of sight from explosion points. Obstacles affect line of sight, and the attack rolls as normal, but ignore facing. Attacks end on a fumble. May not be reloaded. Discard after use. The Great Watley Seal. When you are in melee range of either door to Watley Mansion, drop this item and all doors to the mansion are permanently unlocked. Discard after use. Something smells good. Get a hankering for victuals. Ye can neither raise nor buy. Here you go. This steamy gaggle of guts restores all life points to the character carrying this item when used. Discard after use. Old Bessie Gatling Gun. Ranged attacks 1, range modifier plus 2, range of 20. Range damage plus 2. No ammo needed. Choose a valid target or a melee target. Roll attacks against the target and against everyone in melee range of the target except yourself, even if they are not in your line of sight. Discard on a fumble. The Color Out of Space. Mandatory. Your character is now a fleshy-headed mutant. He must pick up this item even if he normally cannot carry or use items. Drop any item he has. Apply excess movement penalty, if any, next turn. Add plus 4 to your melee modifier and add plus 6 to your defense modifier. Your character may not drop this item. Send him out to kill the puny earthlings. Uncle Wardy's Rusty Revolver. Ranged attacks 1. Range modifier -1. Range 12. Range damage plus 0. Ammo 6. Item fumbles on 2, 3, or 4. Item breaks on 1. Discard. The Amulet of Lang. With this item, you may adjust any die roll that you make for this character at any time, up or down by 1. This may be done 3 times. Discard when used up. Bootlegger's Tommy Gun. Mansion item. Ranged attacks 2. Range modifier plus 2. Range 16. Range damage plus 1. Ammo of 6. I got me the Necronomicon. See rulebook for usage. While you possess the Necronomicon, subtract 2 from your defense modifier as the unholy powers of the book defend you. Alright, combat modifiers. Hat modifiers, Defender stunned plus 1, Defender slammed plus 3, Defender unconscious plus 7. Facing modifiers, attacking from the side plus 2, attacking from the rear plus 4. Ranged weapon modifiers, any partial obstacle in line of sight -3. Firearm modifiers, target distance more than half the weapon's damage -2. Then we've got a damage table, 1 through 2. Stunned, may not move, but may attack, plus 1 to hit. 3 to 4, slammed, may not move or attack, plus 3 to hit. 5 to 6, unconscious, may not move or attack, plus 7 to hit. 7 through 12, 1 life point damage. 13 through 18, 2 life point damage. 19, brutal damage, 20 brutal damage. Then we have brutal damage. 1, 2 life stun. 2, 2 life stun. 3, 2 life stun, unk. Which is probably unconscious. 4 and 5, 3 life and stun. 6, 3 life, unk. 7, 3 life, 2-inch knockback. 8 is 3 life, 5-inch knockback. 9 is 3 life, -1 melee. 10 is 3 life, -2 melee. 11, 3 life, -50% movement. 12, 3 life, +1 defense. 13 is 3 life, +2 defense. 14 is 3 life, lose special ability. 15 through 17, 4 life. 18, 5 life. 19, target killed in 1 blow. 20, target killed in 1 blow, +1 melee bonus for attacker. And you get 2 more of the combat modifiers and damage table, but only 1 more brutal damage. So that's all of the cards. So you get, I don't know why they short you 1 brutal damage, but there's, maybe they stuck together. Nope, there's just 2 brutal damage and 3 damage tables and 3 combat modifier cards. So that's all the cards. They're a weird size. They're okay quality, but they do get banged up a lot if you're not careful, or if you have somebody that doesn't treat their stuff with respect playing, which unfortunately happens quite a bit. It's annoying every time. But because these are loose now, I'm going to put them in a Ziploc bag so that they will stay at least somewhat protected instead of bouncing all over when I put them back into storage. And since I ruined the value of this by opening it up, I'm going to just tuck everything back in here. Now this is really hard to find with the box in really nice shape. And I remember liking this game. I haven't played it in ages. Maybe it's stupid, but I remember liking it. It's tile based in a lot of ways, so I mean you can make the board a little different, and you can try different things, do some house rules or something, but I remember liking the game. But that's going to do it for this episode. We've seen what's inside. This is The Hills Rise Wild from Pagan Publishing. It's a Lovecraft game, a frenzied fury of hillbilly horror, it says at the top here. So it's kind of a silly take on it, but it's pretty fun as I remember. Like I said, I'm going to have to dig it out sometime and force my buddy Wyatt to play with me. But yeah, it's been ages since I played it, but I remember liking it. And so I'm going to recommend it based on my nostalgia and memory of it, and the fact that it's the Halloween episode. And there'll probably be another video today as a bonus because of Halloween, because I do like having a couple games to play with kind of a horror theme for Halloween. But otherwise, that's going to do it for this episode. We've seen what's inside, and that's The Hills Rise Wild by Pagan Publishing. And that'll do it for me. And we hope to see you on the next episode of What's Inside.